Hey kitties, what up, what up? Welcome to Primal Scream. This is your host, Nick Graystone. For the next hour, we're going to talk about fantasy, reality, and everything in between. Let's go. Hey kitties, what up, what up? Welcome to Primal Scream. This is your host, Nick Graystone. For the next hour, we're going to talk about fantasy, reality, and everything in between.
What up, kitties? Nick Graystone is in his house with another new episode of Primal Scream and Shout and Rip that motherfucker out. That's right. Oh, it's very exciting. I have an awesome guest tonight. We're going to get to him in a little bit, but I wanted to play a little catch-up because I haven't been here in a little while. It's been a couple of days, but actually, no, I came in earlier in the week. But I wasn't doing Primal Scream. I was doing the Tony Scream. And Tony had me on earlier this week with his show, and it was very exciting. But, you know, in between, crazy things have happened. As, for instance, this whole new thing with Luigi Mangione. Oh, Luigi. They're making this kid out to be like a Robin Hood. I get it. So for those of you who do not know who Luigi Mangione is, he was arrested earlier this week for the killing of CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson. There was a massive search for him, and it all ended in McDonald's. I guess that McRib, it really is delicious.
True story, pal. The cop that arrested him?
Yeah.
Last name is Fry.
Fry?
Yeah, that's true. That's
F-R-Y?
Yeah. Well, no, F-R-E-Y, but still
Fry.
McDonald's Fry.
So now they're frying Luigi Mangione in whatever prison or jail cell in Bumblefuck, Pennsylvania. Look, I get it. They're making this kid out to be like a Robin Hood because he is raging against the machine. That machine being the healthcare system. He looks like a very pissed off young man. Why he's pissed off, I don't know. It seems that he came from a very loving family. He was a valedictorian. He lived in Hawaii. I know he had some IBS and some back problems, and that fucked around with his love life. And he's probably jealous of, Mario banging the princess, and he was like third wheel. So I get it. And I don't know. All the girls are loving Luigi with all his posts and everything, and they're saying that he's hot. And I'm not going to induct him into the Fuck You Hall of Fame. I'm not going to do that. He is stunad. He maybe should have, tweezed the eyebrows a little bit, because that is the only thing that I feel like caught him. He was behind mask the whole time, but those eyebrows weren't. He could not contain those things. And I talk shit about eyebrows because, look, I do have the caterpillars. They're still up there. So, I mean, yeah, my caterpillars are up there. So, and the only reason I got the caterpillars is because I used to bust my brother's balls growing up. No, you got big bushy eyebrows. Well, then God fucking smited me, and he said, you know what? You're going to have bushy eyebrows. And now Luigi Mangione has bushy eyebrows. So, I get what you're doing, kid. You shouldn't have killed the guy in cold blood. The healthcare system sucks right now. Zoom in for the eyebrows. $35 for a copay. It sucks. The United States is the only one that makes money off of this shit. I know, love it or leave it. You could go to another country or have free health care and all that other stuff. Maybe this will bring light to the shit, but I doubt it. It's just going to get worse as far as paying through the ass for health care, and that's what it's all about. It's a big nasty thing, but sorry, Luigi. Not today, son. Not today. So I had a very interesting week. I had a birthday. I turned 47 the other day, and I had a great weekend. first off, it kicked off. I went to go see Body Count, and I met Ice-T. And what a cool fucking guy Ice-T is. I told him the story that growing up, my parents didn't really censor me from listening to shit. And Body Count was really the only album that they told me that I could not buy. So I apologized to Ice-T, and I said, listen, dude, I'm like, yeah, my parents wouldn't let me listen to it. So I apologize for stealing your first, that album. So I had to steal it and hide it and shit. And, but there's a funny story to this now. 25 years later, I show up at my parents' house for dinner, and I'm like, hey, Ma, where's Dad? And she's like, oh, he's in the back watching TV. Why don't you go get him? So I went into the back room, and my father's watching TV, and I'm like, hey, Dad, what are you doing? It's like, I'm watching my show. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I happen to look over, and there's Ice-T on the screen, and he's watching Law and Order. And I'm like, oh, you like this show? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, you like that guy? And he's like, yeah. So I'm like, you know who that is? That's Ice-T. So you like him, but not enough to fucking buy me his album back in the day. And he's like, shut up, boy. You don't know shit. Let's go eat. That was my father to a T. But, yeah, so Ice-T, thanks for being cool, man. You killed it in Sayreville, New Jersey. The band was awesome. It was a long time coming. Finally got to scratch them off my list. The continuation of the weekend was great. I took Zoe to go to meet Silent Bob again, Kevin Smith. He dressed up as Santa Bob. We got a cool picture with him. He knows us by name now, and it's so cool, to go see him and hang out and talk small talk with him. And it was great. We went there. The next night we met up with my friends, the Glonics, Damien, who runs Living Dead Doll, and his wife Jen. We went to Cozier's. It was a Christmas village. We hung out and we did some Christmas looking at lights and stuff. We went to a smorgasbord, ate our asses off, and it was a nice time. And, I couldn't really ask for a better birthday. I capped it off with going to see Sleepaway Camp on the big screen, and I met Felissa Rose again. She actually signed my Forest Hills poster, which was awesome. She's in that movie. And she's such a sweetheart, no matter how many times I run into her, she loves her fans and everything. She takes time, and she had a cool interaction with Zozo. So anytime that happens, it's always good for me. So I do want to, speaking of the Forest Hills, before I bring my next guest out, I do want to plug this new project that is coming out right now that actually Felissa might be a part of. It's called Vernon. Our director and writer of the Forest Hills, Scott Goldberg, has this new project that he's going to do. It's going to be shot on old school film, and it's going to be kind of like, not a found footage, but kind of like a documentary shot by a serial killer. So in the vein of Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. I have a little video that Scott has made. So we're going to start an Indiegogo campaign and see if people are interested. And it's going to be coming out like in the first quarter of 2025. That's when we start filming it. So check this out. Here's a little video.
Hey, my name is Vernon Gravdell. You may know me from the Forest Hills movie. The same director and producer now has a new project in the works called Murderers. The film revolves around a serial killer and his brother, Harry. It's a documentary-style film that focuses on blood, gore, and violence. The filmmakers want to primarily shoot on film, but unfortunately film is expensive. So with your help, we will be able to make a movie that goes back to the days before digital. So for more information and perks, please go to Indiegogo. Thank you.
All right, so that's the new project that Scott's working on. Vernon Granville. I actually worked with him on the set of The Forest Hills. To be honest with you, I don't even know if he's acting in this movie. This could be his real life persona. He is a character, and I feel like this is going to be creepy. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll give you updates about it and stuff. All right, well, that is my catching up for the week, and I definitely want to bring out my special guest. He's a guy that I know for a long time. We've traveled in similar circles. I am so happy that he wanted to come out onto the show, and I put out the invite. It's my good friend Jeremy from Epic Movie Guys, Jeremy Moorhead. What's up, dude? No, anytime, bro. I'm so excited that you said yes. Yeah, like I said, man, yeah, we're definitely going to have fun, man. Like, I know Jeremy, I know him for years. Like, we've gone to similar conventions and stuff. I think we actually started talking because we were waiting online for John Carpenter back at Monster Mania. Yeah, you actually, you got a good picture of me getting something signed by him. My Scream Factory lithograph from Halloween.
Oh, yeah, rub it in, man. Rub it in. You know I love that thing.
I know. But, dude, come on. This dude's got, like, my collection is good. You got to see Jeremy's. Jeremy he's a collector like me, and he's been doing this. I believe we went to the same Monster Mania, our first one, the one with Wes, right?
No, so my first one was in 2005, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Wes definitely wasn't at the one that I was at.
Oh, I thought you met Wes at that convention with me.
No. So I have a poster that I acquired that he signed at that convention. But I was not at that one.
Okay.
Yeah. The first convention I went to was Monster Mania, and it was like 2005.
Okay.
And me discovering conventions was such a weird thing because, like, you know, I obviously read Fangoria, but I didn't do like tons of traveling when I was younger. So like New York City was like, oh, that's super far. It's like, even though like I live right outside of Washington, D.C., I didn't know. I was young and stupid, you know?
Right.
And I just gotten done watching one of the Elm Street movies, and I was like, man, you know, it'd be so cool to meet Robert Englund. That thought resonated so hard that I literally went up to my desktop computer that was like the size of a fucking TV or whatever it was, and I literally typed in "meet Robert Englund" into Google. And it was like Monster Mania Convention, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And I was like, well, how far away is Cherry Hill, New Jersey? So I went to MapQuest because, you know, GPS wasn't really a thing then. And I was like, holy shit, it's only like 3.5 hours away from me. So, like, I didn't plan on like this being my hobby or this being my thing, like, at all. Like, I was like, I'm going to get one autograph. I'm going to meet Freddy Krueger. And then, like, that's kind of that. And, you know, this coming year will be 20 years of doing this shit. So
yeah, so it's like the never-ending bag of chips, dude. You just can't have one chip. You know, once you're in, you're in. And we always 100%. Say to each other, we laugh like, "This is it. Gotta hang it up now."
I could retire after this name. Yeah. And then it was like, okay, well, I met Freddy. Oh shit. Kane Hodder, who played Jason, is going to be. Well, I'll meet Jason too. I mean, sure. And then it's just been a rabbit hole ever since, you know.
Yeah. Well, back then too, like going to those conventions is a different animal from now. Like back then, you could go to a convention and potentially meet all these people and actually leave with some money in your pocket. Now it's just everyone has upped their price, and it's just a totally different beast. And I'm not trying to shit on it or anything, but it's just a totally different animal from the thing that we started, doing back in the day. And even when you talk to people that are even like in it longer than us, like I'm going to name drop right now. Like you talk about like Scott Penza. Scott's been doing these conventions forever. He's been going to like Fangoria Weekend of Horrors and stuff. And he would tell me that he would pay like, I think, $10 to get in, and everything was free. Like autographs were free. No one charged, and it was just like way before they realized that this was a business and they can make money. Way before, I think what changed it all really was The Walking Dead. I don't know.
Oh, that was the changing of the tides for sure. And I just gotta say, man, fucking Scott Pinto, what a great guy, man. I love that guy.
Right? He's so awesome.
He's so
dude.
cool.
Absolutely.
He's so cool, man.
He's just like, hey, man, so like laid back and chill and reserve or anything. And you never see him complaining. He's just like a very cool dude, very reserved or whatever. And it's always awesome to see him.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like you said, it was definitely the changing of the tides when The Walking Dead came into it. Because they hit, right? And I'll never forget, dude. There was Stephen Yun, it was Laurie Holden, Norman Reedus, and maybe even John Bernthal. Yeah. They did Monster Mania, and they were all charging $20 or $25 with the free photo, because they kind of were like, okay, well, this is what it is, and their lines were tremendous. And then the next show they were 30. And then the next show they were 40. Mm-hmm. And then the next show they were 50. And it was kind of one of those things. And then we think that we should charge for photos. And at that time, man, it was like if you bought an autograph from somebody, you got the photo for free because there's no resale value.
Right.
And they kind of just they set the tone for the Robert Englunds and people to be like, oh, I could charge more.
Right.
And they would pay.
Sure.
And it's less signing because, dude, people would bring 5 things for Robert Englund to get signed back then or whatever, 6 things, right? Now, I mean, he's charging like $150, so people are like, maybe I'll get 1.
Right.
So it's like he's still making the same amount of money, but now he's only having to sign 1 rather than 5.
And he's tied up with his photo ops because photo ops weren't a thing back then. I remember when they started the photo op thing, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going to go to a professional photo op. Now it's a photo op land, I feel. And the convention is the outside of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the main thing now. I'll go to a photo op now just to get a picture with them and then try to get the autograph another way. Instead of waiting all day trying to get the autograph, it's I don't know, bro. I think I'd rather get the picture.
Oh man, for sure. It's crazy. The most recent Mania where they had the Alien and Aliens reunion, I lent I lent my props for the photo op. So the alien egg and the pulse rifle and the face hugger were mine. And so, I know all those guys and Scott from Celeb Photo Ops, me and him are cool. I super like that dude a lot. He's a really cool, good dude. And so I kind of got to be behind the scenes, literally, because I was behind the photographer making sure that nobody was going to knock my shit over. And what's funny, man, I got a really funny picture I can send you. But, dude, Tom Skerritt, God bless him, dude. He's 92 years old or some shit like that or something like that. And he was determined, either consciously or subconsciously, I want to knock this fucking face hugger egg over. I want to knock this motherfucker down. So dude, this frail old man was so what happened was I brought a little stand, but not for the face hugger egg. I brought it for the actual face hugger. And it was the photographer Scott was like, nah, man, I think we should put the egg on the stand because it just shoots better and it's kind of awkward being on the floor. And I'm like, no, that's cool, man. I'm just someone's gonna knock this shit down. And he was like, I mean, we'll keep an eye on it. So anyway, so all of a sudden, dude, Tom Skerritt is resting his entire body weight on it. And I'm like, dude, both him and this thing can go down at any second. And the MVP was Veronica Cartwright's manager, who was cool as fuck, man. Dude, Skerritt knocked over that egg 6 times easy. And dude, Cartwright's manager was standing right outside of the picture and caught it every single time to where I was literally across from him because I was handing the face hugger to people getting the photos, and I was just like, dude, you are the MVP. Like, legit, he saved it so many times, and the only person who successfully knocked it down was not a fan, but it was Carrie Hen Newt. She was like walking out of the photo op, and it was like, boom, and that shit went right over, and I was like, god damn it. But no, it was
okay.
fine. But what yeah, it was fine. It was okay. But what was crazy, man, is the Aliens photo op got delayed because there was they took 750 photos of Art the Clown in costume.
Holy
bro,
shit.
Do the math on that, okay? So it was like $200 or some shit like that for him in costume. Times that by 750, bro. Like, that dude, David Howard Thornton, does not have to do shit for the rest of his life but this.
Yeah, no,
because, dude, he's making more money by taking photos with people than tons of people make in a year.
Yeah.
Like, and he's making that in like an hour and a half.
Yep. This weekend he's doing Scarecrows, and it's 2 nights. I think he's going to be there, and it's from 3 to like 9. They have like slots like every half hour. I'm pretty sure that like the whole state of Pennsylvania is going to be there, dude. Like, it looks,
dude,
it looks pretty crazy.
We're in Terrifier Nation, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I went to Steel. Yeah, I went to Steel City last weekend, and the amount of like side conversations I just like overheard from walking around, like everybody is like, that's what they're talking about, man. That's the new Nightmare on Elm Street.
It is. You know what, dude? I feel like we're gonna talk about this too, because I feel like there's a little spoiler. Terrifier 3 is in my top 5, so I'm gonna say that right now. But I feel like how Robert Englund became a rock star, how Freddy Krueger became a rock star in Dream Warriors is how this dude is right now. And
100%.
he's getting there.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You know, like and you know what? In a financial time right now, that he is making bank, making the most bank that he could possibly can right now at this point. So,
big time.
And you know what, dude? You know, Damien Leone, it's not an overnight success. This dude's been fucking hustling for how long? 10 years?
Yeah.
You know, everyone's
longer,
like,
probably,
the overnight success of Terrifier 2. Dude, the fucking character was around for 8 years before that, and like, he already had somebody else playing him, and then now it's hustling, and he doesn't have an open weekend, dude. Like, it's every week this dude is out promoting and putting it out there. I think half of the money that they put in the budget of the movie was for promotion.
Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
smart because like and again to circle this back to The Walking Dead, at the time that The Walking Dead hit really big with the convention circuit, you know, the stigma was that if you did an autograph show, your career was mostly washed up, to where The Walking Dead broke that stereotype because they're like, we have the #1 hit show on television. It's a phenomenon, and we're attending these events, and we're giving fans access to us. And it showed the convention world like, hey, it's okay to do fan events and still have your career and still have your #1 hit thing. And, you know, with that, you know, it started happening with the Marvel people and stuff like that. And it really broke the molds. And it's because, like, it brings fans to the intellectual property even more when they can literally reach out and grab it and touch it and be like, oh my gosh, like,
yeah,
I'm a part of this. And that's by these Terrifier guys doing these conventions literally every weekend. The horror community feels a part of it. They feel like this is mine. Like, sure. I have a piece of this. Like, this is for me.
Like,
and I think that's really unique.
Yeah, absolutely. They're selling like the masks that he wears each weekend, like for the photo ops and stuff. I think there's like a
crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's just unbelievable. Any like marketing thing that they're gonna do, they're gonna do. You know, they have their booth selling their shit. So many. Every single T-shirt company has Art the Clown on it, and they have 10 shirts each. You know, of it, different stuff. It's huge. It's really it is Freddy Kruegerville right now.
100%. Undeniable for sure.
You know, and I wouldn't be surprised if, they even go that route. Maybe even ask this guy to do a Nightmare on Elm Street. They could. You never know. But
Sure. I mean, I think doors are definitely opening for that whole crew. So, hard work. Obviously, they have created something that people really want. And, that's the number one key to business, right? Is creating something that people aren't able to get that they want.
Sure.
And that's what Terrifier has been. It's been scratching and etching the horror community, and there it is.
Yeah, I mean, like we have, we had the Halloweens going and pumping them out every couple of years and everything, having Friday 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street on the back burner for so long, dude. Like, the horror community was thirsty and hungry for some kind of new icon. So
what's really interesting is Victor Crowley was almost there. Like, Victor Crowley was kind of groomed to be like the next horror icon.
Yeah. And
don't get me wrong. I mean, there's 4 films, so obviously, it did well enough to warrant all the sequels and shit like that. But it's really surprising that Art the Clown and Terrifier has taken off the way that it did when, at Epic Film Guys, we kind of have said that, Hatchet crawled so Terrifier could run. Like, I don't know that we would have had Terrifier like on the level that we have it now without Hatchet. But
no, not at all, because you know what? Like, I feel like Damien Leone took something out of Adam Green's arsenal, like as far as like the kills, the way that Hatchet did those kills and everything, and for the low budget and for the marketing, and just amplified it times 10. So he definitely could have been influenced by that.
Sure.
I don't know really Damien's background or anything, but even like, Adam had that awesome story of him like, trying to make the movie and stuff. And it was, like you said, it felt like we were a part of that too when Hatchet was taken off, because that was another thing that we like got access to, looking at the movies being made, getting like all the special features, meeting all of them and stuff. And it was like everybody was in the movie. Like, you look around a convention, 75% of like the list of like a weekend was in Hatchet. And now, like, you're looking around with Terrifier, you're starting to see familiar faces in those movies now that are in these movies. So they're doing it right, man.
It's interesting, man, because, I feel like Victor Crowley's not in the conversation anymore either. Like, I don't see the T-shirts at conventions anymore. I don't hear people talking about Hatchet.
When was the last one that came out?
I mean, dude, it's been 10, I don't know about 10 years, but it's been a solid 6 years at least, right? 7 years, something like that.
And it wasn't even like Victor Crowley, like the last one was pushed as much as the other ones. Like, he just came out like as a surprise with the last one. And you think that he would like continue with it, but like, I don't even know. Like, he put out after Victor Crowley, did he put out Digging with the Marrow, or was that before Victor Crowley? I think it was before. I can't remember the order of it. Yeah, I think it was before.
I can't remember the order of it. But I mean, dude, I was absolutely fanatical about Adam Green's movies, and like, he was another one that I was like, dude, he was like kind of like a Kevin Smith type character to the point where I'm like, I relate to this guy. I feel like he's one of us.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
That's part of the appeal of Kevin Smith. It's like, dude, he's just like me, man. And vice versa. I'm just like him. Like, he's one of us, and that's kind of how I felt about Adam Green. It's like, dude, he's a dude that is making movies, that loves movies, and is a nerd like me, and I thought that was really cool.
And he's making them like from his heart, and you could see that he's making them from his heart,
For sure.
For
sure.
And it's not like he's trying to put on a front, dude. You're seeing what he is.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So awesome. Yeah, I knew this was going to be a great episode. So I guess let's get the ball rolling over here. I'm gonna
Let's do it.
I'm gonna start with my number 5. Actually, why don't you kick it off, sir? You could start with your number 5.
Oh man. So my number 5 was a movie that it's a sequel, and the first one it was fine. I watched it, I enjoyed it from an entertainment standpoint, but I didn't walk away from it going, man, I fucking loved this. And that was the exact opposite experience I had with the sequel, which is Smile 2. Like,
Okay.
dude, that movie blew me the fuck away. I'm like, it's very rare that a sequel outdoes the original. And Smile 2 absolutely outdid the original. It took the elements that made the first one as enjoyable as it was, and it amplified everything and did it even better. I loved it. It was kind of unpredictable. Like, I did not know what was going to happen next in this movie. And what's really cool about Smile 2 is it basically was like, I can only imagine the board meeting was like, all right, so we're going to make a sequel to this. What if Lady Gaga got the Smile Demon? And someone was like, it's greenlit. Let's do it. And that's what this movie is. It's basically Lady Gaga gets a demon that attaches itself to her.
Yeah.
And like the entire runtime is her trying to figure out how to get the fucking demon away, right? And it's amazing. And it was a powerhouse performance from Naomi Scott, who, I mean, if you look at Naomi Scott, she's just fantastic in every sense. Like she's a powerhouse actor. She's absolutely beautiful, and she was entrancing in every single scene of this movie. It literally blew me away. Like I got done watching and was like, fuck. Like I watched it because I was like, all right, like obviously like I run a film review podcast, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna see this, but I'm not excited to see it. And I walked away like, I fucking love this thing. So
You know what,
for me, my number 5.
I loved it too. You know what, too? I'm gonna add to your. It's not part of my list or anything. It's part of my honorable mentions. Smile 2, but what's his name? Kyle Gallner. I think his name is Kyle Gallner. Is that how you pronounce it? Gallner.
Yeah.
Dude,
Gallner.
that beginning is fucking badass. Like, it got me right from the beginning of the movie. Like, I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but like, oh my God, man. Intense. And like you said, it does blow the first one out of the water. I thought Smile was okay, the first one, but this one is 100% better. And that's a good,
phenomenal.
That's a good addition for good way to kick it off. So my number 5 was Longlegs, directed by Osgood Perkins and Makia Monroe and Nicolas Cage. I thought that it was very slow. It was a slow burn, but the crazy twists make up for it. The only complaint that I had was it's the longest third act that I've ever witnessed before. Like how it says it like part 3 or third act or whatever. It felt like it was like 4 hours later, but it finally came. And I thought Nicolas Cage like was so over the top with his performance in it, and it was creepy, man. You know, it left me with like, okay, like I was like, this movie was effective for me. I thought that I was going in expecting like they were talking about Silence of the Lambs or whatever, and I got that little, you know, that little element of it, but I think it was beyond that. And I really liked the backstory that comes with it, and like that surprise twist. So Longlegs for me is my number 5.
Bravo, man. Bravo.
Number 4 for you?
Yeah, I loved your number 5 so much that I decided to make it my number 4. So
good.
My number 4 is Longlegs, man. That movie, you know, the marketing and the trailer kind of led you to believe that it was almost going to be like a Silence of the Lambs-esque type film. And, you know, there is an element of that, and then it shifts gears and it becomes something else completely. And that other element either really worked for people or it really did not work for some people. And the people that they were like, man, I didn't fucking like that one. It's like, you know what? I understand. I totally understand.
Yeah,
that
it's
is
not for
definitely
everyone.
not a dude. I can tell you right now, my dad loves Silence of the Lambs. He loves, detective or like serial killer type movies like that. If I would put that movie on for my dad, he'd be like, I didn't fucking like that one. Like it would just it's not for everybody, but it works for me because much like Smile 2 and a lot of the films that I'm going to mention here, is I did not know what was going to happen, how it was all going to connect, what the end resolve was going to be, and the twist in it was one that I could have never imagined, and I loved it, and there was a lot of like different elements in it, and Nicolas Cage's performance was wild. I mean, like you expect over the top performances from Nicolas Cage at this point. That's cool.
But not like this.
Except for he hates that expression over the top because he's like, well, who decides where the top is? And he was like, and ultimately I decide if I go over it or not. I've heard him say that in interviews. But,
I can picture him saying it too.
He's like, well, where's the top and who decides what the top is? And then ultimately I'm the one that decides whether or not I go over it. It's like, yep.
You see,
sure
there's
do,
going to be a
buddy.
top, and you know what? It could be there, but I'm going to go over and over and over it.
But his performance was so zany, and that makeup that they used, and the fact that they didn't even fully show him a lot.
I know, that's
and
the
it, like,
best
kinda
part.
hid his face in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Haunting.
Yeah. Like something like out of like Tiny Tim, but like in my fucking worst nightmare, Tiny Tim.
No shit, man.
Right? Albino
yeah,
Tiny Tim.
Albino. Hashtag this episode. Hashtag albino Tiny Tim. But yeah, man, Micah Monroe, once again, like, dude, come on, man. At this point, I mean, It Follows, The Guest, Long Legs.
Yeah, she's got a good
coming back
resume,
to
man.
They Follow. We won't fault her for Independence Day resurgence. We're giving you the pass, Micah. That wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
We blame Roland Emmerich for that. But dude, yeah, she was a powerhouse in this thing too, and I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it, and that's why it's my number 4.
Sick. All right, so my number 4 is Terrifier 3.
Boom.
So the Terrifier 3, I love the kills. I thought they were great kills. I love the sidekick of Victoria Hayes, played by the fucking over-the-top Samantha Scalfati. I mentioned this before, how Art the Clown, this is his rock star moment of how Freddy became a rock star in Dream Warriors. Art the Clown became a rock star in Terrifier 3. There's a rat scene in this movie that reminded me of something that I read in the American Psycho book, but it was a different end result, but same setup, but just different ends they put it in. But that's all I'll say with that, because I don't want to spoil it, just in case. I know the world has seen it by now, but there's one thing, though, that I do have to say. There's the mall scene in this movie. And everyone talked about the first 10 minutes of the movie. Not that it was okay, but it didn't really affect me that the way that the mall scene did. Because just this day and age that we live in, I just don't want anyone to get any fucking ideas from these crazy fucking movies we watch. But I could see someone totally fucking unhinged and like mall scening like Terrifier 3, dude. And it's just scary. It made my stomach turn. So, I mean, for that, it was effective, and I just think that, kudos to Leone for hustling and making, I mean, we could say that it's still an independent film, man. I mean, it's still like $3 million. Half of it, or 3/4 of it, like went to marketing and everything, and I think it's still, the little guys won that weekend at the box office.
and he still owns it. You know what I mean? Like, he
Yeah.
has not sold the rights to it, so I think it very much is still an independent movie.
Yeah.
You know, people acquire the rights to distribute it, but Damien Leone owns it, and he's been offered life-changing money to sell it, and he's like, I'm playing the long game on this. Now I'm going to hold on to this. And he's playing the Don Coscarelli card of, Don could have sold Phantasm and made a fucking shit ton of money, and he was like, nah, I'm going to keep it. And that's exactly what Damien's doing, and I think that's really respectable.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man, definitely good for Damien, brother. I'll tip my hat to you. All right.
Yeah.
So moving
number
right
3?
along, number 3.
Cool, man. We're burning them. We're burning them.
Yeah,
So my number 3 is another. Well, I guess it's not really a sequel. It's a prequel, and it's another movie that I went into with tempered expectations, because I'm not like, I like the original franchise. It's fine, but I'm not like fanatical about it. So when it was announced, it wasn't something that I was like, oh fuck, I can't wait for this. Another one that I was legitimately blown away by, and I walked away from going, man, fuck, I loved that. Like, I really loved that, and that's The First Omen.
Okay. All right.
Dude, it I think it's very apparent in the beginning of the movie, kind of like who's gonna be the one that actually is carrying the Antichrist, right?
Right.
Like, there's a red herring that happens in it that they try to make you believe it's somebody else, but it's like, as the audience, we're pretty fucking smart, and it's like, nah, it's gonna be this person.
Right.
That's exactly where this is going, and that's fine. Even though that element was kind of predictable, this was another one that I was like, there were 2 times where I thought the movie was about to wrap up, and I was wrong. And it kept going down different twists and different avenues, and I legitimately, it was another one that I was like, I really don't know what's going to happen next. And I found that really exciting that movies did that for me this year, because that has not been my experience the past several years with films. But
It
I
made
feel
you
like
enjoy to go see
2024
movies. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, man. I'm like, fuck, this is not paint by numbers. I don't know exactly what's coming. And that's really, really refreshing in this day and age, especially in the genre our genre is filled with films at times that are very trope inducing, right? Like, it's like, oh, okay, this is where it's going to go. This is what they're going to do. Of course, here's the setup. Cool. And so that's been really exciting this year that movies have surprised me. And this one really did, big time. And dude, I know we're not trying to spoil shit, so I'm not going to spoil it, but they showed something that I didn't even know that you could really show in a rated R movie, and especially in a mainstream, like, theatrical run movie, private part action. I'll just say that, where I was just like, oh, that was like a dead ass camera shot of that. That's crazy.
I know what you're talking
so
about.
that
Yeah.
that was very surprising to me too. It was definitely way gorier and brutal than I had anticipated a studio film being, and the way that it ties into the original Omen film,
It's
in the
classic.
finale, I was like, dude, this is great. A lot of times we get sequels and prequels, and I'm like, even though I enjoyed this, I don't consider it canon. Because I'm like, they kind of went on holy ground, and I feel like they fumbled and misstepped something. So even though I can enjoy this on an entertainment level, I don't consider this. It's like, dude, like every Terminator after Terminator 2, I do not consider canon. I'm like, nah, Terminator is a 2-part story. There's Terminator, and then there's T2. That's one complete story that was told over 2 films. And, this one, I'm like, no, this is canon, man. I fuck with it, dude. So, The First Omen, yeah, my number 3, man. It was fantastic.
How they did tie it was pretty fucking sweet, man.
It was spot on, dude.
I definitely got goosebumps when it happened.
Yep.
Like
So
you said,
good,
man,
man.
that it made me, movies this year made me realize why I love going to see them in the theater and stuff, and it was an experience. And all these movies, I was
time.
happy to go see them in the theater. You know, I'm a big advocate about
Yeah.
going to see movies like that the way they're meant to be.
Oh, me too.
So, all right.
What you got?
My number 3, Lisa Frankenstein.
Woo!
So now this, okay, people could say that it's not a horror film, that it's more like a teen creature feature rom-com, but I'm going to put it in horror. You know, I like that it's got its horror elements to it. I think it's kind of like if Tim Burton directed Heathers with a sprinkle of John Waters. So, I thought that Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse were adorable together on screen. I love her transformation, and I love his transformation as, like, you know, her making him into the boyfriend that she wanted, and it's kind of like her becoming like the goth goddess queen of the film. Like, she's so great, man. Like, she just, I'm really looking forward to seeing what else that she's gonna do. I really enjoyed her in other stuff this year too. Abigail, she was great in. I think she's funny.
She is, man.
I'd like to see her maybe even in a Scary Movie, man. If, like, I know they're bringing back Scary Movie and maybe they're bringing back Anna Faris or whatever, but if they had to reboot it, I would say put her in it, man. I think she has the chops of Anna Faris doing stuff like that. You know, she's definitely lights up the screen every time that she's on. I think it was a brilliant directorial debut by Zelda Williams, and instead of, you know, making it dedicated to her late great father, she put a beautiful Easter egg to honor his memory in it that is like a subliminal message in there, and I thought that was very cool. And let's not forget that the amazing soundtrack that was layered with it, it was perfect for me.
Yeah.
So, I really did.
I love that one too.
I really did dig Lisa Frankenstein.
So good, man. I did too. It was awesome. It's funny. This past weekend at Steel City, there was a lull because it's weird. Steel City opens up at 10 a.m. on Friday, right?
Really?
Like, some celebrities show. Yeah, dude. 10 a.m. on Friday.
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude. It's
that's like my type of convention.
Yeah,
I never went
wild.
to it before.
I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know for a while that they opened up super early, but then I realized, like, I'm like, well, dude, they're bringing in some high caliber people that they need to meet guarantees. And it's like, okay, if you open at 5 on a Friday and you're really only signing until 9, that's only 4 hours of signing time. It's harder to hit your guarantee. So they open up at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday. And not all the celebrities show up immediately at 10, but she was there, and that was cool. And there was a moment where it was kind of early enough before the crowds really started beating it up, where she was kind of at her table and in a lull, where there was not a line. And I was like, man, you know, I have a rule for collecting now where I basically only collect stuff that I grew up with. So it's like, Danny Glover. Fuck yeah, I grew up with Danny Glover. I grew up with Predator 2. I'm going to meet him, get his autograph, XYZ. But I was like, you know what? I really do like Catherine Newton. I loved Lisa Frankenstein. I loved Abigail, Freaky, all that shit. So I was like, I'm going to go get a picture with her. Dude, it was $80 for a selfie on my cell phone. And I'm like, I am not going to meet Catherine Newton. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, bro, $40. Here's $40 for a picture.
$80 for a selfie?
$80 for a selfie.
How much is her fucking photo op?
I have no idea.
It has to be more than that, though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I was like, if I had to
$100?
guess, probably $100. Yeah, $100.
Get the fuck out of here.
I was like, dude, this shit's out of control, and it's great because it's helping me stay focused in the stuff that I really do want to collect and not spending shit tons of unnecessary money. So yeah, you were saying Lisa Frankenstein, and it made me think about this past weekend, and I was like, yeah.
Do they jack up their prices like Comic-Con, or Would that be the same price you think at Monster Mania?
I would imagine it would probably be same price at Monster Mania.
Oh,
Fucking yeah, dude. It's beginning to be a tough pill to swallow. That's why I'm just like I'm much more choosy when I go to these things now because I'm like, dude,
you know what? If we're
can't.
just talking about this real quick, this weekend they're doing a photo op with Guar at Trenton, New Trenton Holiday, whatever. $400, dude, and that's with not the original band. I don't even know if there's anybody that's in the band that was in the band. Obviously, Dave Brocky passed away.
Yeah.
So it's not even, like, I saw that. I was thinking maybe, $100 to get a picture with Guar. That'd be cool. I look at it, it's $400. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. It's everybody has realized that fandom is really lucrative and, supply and demand. If people want to pay it, fuck yeah, pay your $400, get your Guar photo. But I don't know. These days, man, I'm like,
not this guy.
That's why I kind of, that's why these days I kind of am like, I have a lot of rules for what I collect and how I collect it. And it helps me stay focused and not spend money on dumb shit I really don't need.
I hear you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to play a song, a little music break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do our numbers 2 and 1. So this is actually a Long Island band you might know called Playing Dead.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Sam actually wanted to come on tonight to take part of this.
That would have been awesome.
I know. I didn't tell you about it. He was going to come on as, a surprise or whatever, but something came up where he couldn't do it. But I was going to play a Demon Scar song, and I'm like, you know what? There's always next week. So I like to sometimes put out and play my friends. So this is one of their new songs. It's called Always Were, and this is Playing Dead. So check it out.
Oh, my love, I heard you didn't like the name of that song, but I didn't mean anything. Yeah, we didn't mean anything. My love, if I could take it back, I probably won't, 'cause we didn't mean anything. So there's nothing there to forgive. Why make it that way? you're stealing my head just the same. Just like the day before. The bed is made, the bills are paid, the cats are fed, and you're stealing my head just the same. Just like the way you always were. You always were. You always were.
All right, so that was Playing Dead with Always Were. Man, I love.
Hell yeah.
That's a good song, dude. I love those guys. It's awesome to witness that their growth in popularity on the island, and they're nice dudes too. So
Oh,
and
dude,
girl,
their songs are so catchy and so great, man.
Yeah.
Such good songwriters.
yeah, absolutely. I had Sam on here a couple months ago, and I've been on his podcast, the Red River podcast, and yeah, and we have that love of Ford Fairlane. There's not that many people that adore that movie like us. You like Ford Fairlane?
I don't think I've ever seen it, dude.
Okay. I don't know if it's missed its boat. Maybe it had to be there like when it first started, but there's a couple of people that appreciate it, and we always have like little inside jokes or whatever. But yeah,
I'll have to check it out, man.
yeah, funny stuff. A lot of cameos. You know, Robert Englund's in it, Wayne Newton, Priscilla Presley, and Dice in his prime.
Yeah, I was
So-
gonna say I thought that was a Andrew Dice Clay one. So
Yeah. That was his big moment back then. So, all right, our number 2. Go ahead, brother. You go.
yeah, this one was a huge one, and it's getting nominated for all types of crazy awards that genre films typically don't get nominated for, and that's The Substance.
Hell yeah.
Dude, oh my god, man, like that movie. How does that movie exist? I don't know.
On so
Like,
many different levels.
yeah, like not only did somebody fucking write that, that's a weird thing in of itself. It's like that what a weird concept and thing. So that's crazy that somebody wrote it, but it's also crazy that the second crazy part is that some studio was like, we're going to give you some money to make this. So like that's the second crazy part. The third crazy part is that Demi Moore, and Margot Qualley both were like, okay, like we'll totally get fully nude for this crazy ass body horror mutation movie. Like, dude, there is a huge chunk of the runtime where it's just Demi Moore naked. Like that had to have been so weird for her and like nerve inducing, and the payoff is tremendous because the movie is unlike, I mean, there's things that we've seen that are kind of in a similar vein, like Society and some different body horror flicks, but not like this, man. This was it was really something. It was really something to watch in a movie theater too.
Yeah.
There was an older couple that they had no idea what the fuck they signed up for when they bought tickets to this movie.
Tell me they walked out.
Oh, 100%. The movie was like 35 to maybe 40 minutes at most, and they were out. Like I saw them like whisper something to each other, and then one got up, the other one got up, they both left, and I was like, holy shit, like there's people walking out of this thing. And it was a wild ride. I laughed a lot. I was appalled a lot. It truly shocked me, the avenue that this movie went down and how far it went, and definitely one of the most unique theater going experiences I think I've ever had. So I loved it, man. That's why it's my number 2.
Yeah, I loved it too so much that I made it my number 1. So I'm gonna say that echoing off of you right now and piggybacking, the concept was unbelievable. The unbelievable nudity, yes. Can't believe she did this role. The most disturbing thing to me was watching Dennis Quaid eat shrimp.
Oh, fucking
Dude,
disgusting, dude.
Absolutely fucking disgusting. How I explain it to people is if Reanimator and Requiem for a Dream had a child and it was directed by Stanley Kubrick.
There you go.
So,
let me tell you what, dude, your comparisons are spot on, man. Your comparison for Lisa Frankenstein,
yeah.
and your comparison for this of like, oh, this is kind of what it would be like. They're spot on, dude. I'm impressed with your comparisons here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Somebody posted this yesterday, and I don't know exactly. I can't even give credit to who, but it was a tweet. And I'm gonna name drop somebody that we know from the conventions. Gary Sims. He reposted it, so I'll give a name drop to Gary Sims because he reposted it and put it on my radar. But he wrote that Universal Studios produced the substance for $18 million. Then they demanded that Coralie, I can't pronounce her last name, Farge, I guess, cut the ending down because of its over-the-top disturbing visuals. She declined. Universal refused to release the film and sold it to Mubi for $12 million. The substance has made over $70 million in the box office and has been nominated for 5 Golden Globes, including Best Picture. So now maybe studio bean counters will start trusting the artists that they hire. Probably not, but we'll see. But good for her,
Man.
standing her ground.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Right, unbelievable.
Amazing.
And the
Amazing.
got to give a shout out to the special effects guy. I pulled his name, Pierre Oliver Person. He did some crazy special effects in this movie. And again, this is not a movie that I could recommend to everyone because it truly is sick and demented and twisted. But if you have, I don't know, an open mind, or I don't even know. There's just certain people that I would suggest it to, and certain people that I would be like, don't even waste. You're gonna walk out just like the people walked out, like Jeremy said. I went in there. It was a matinee. 5 people started, and when it was over, there was 2 people remaining. So 3 people walked out for my screening of it.
Yeah.
So all right, what was your? So my number 2. Was Late Night with the Devil.
Very good pick, man.
Yes, this was directed by Cameron and Colin Carnes, starring David Dashalmashane. Horror found footage. Takes place in Halloween of '77. I think it was well done, jumping between the black and white and the color. It was a great cast of relatively unknown actors. Like, that made it believable for me, and I just love the twist that they put into it, even though they kind of laid the groundwork early on, like, oh yeah, okay, they're going to probably come back to this and put this at the end. And there was still a twist at the end, but there was some great tension build points in the movie, and I really thought they executed it really well. Like, I feel now saying this also, Satan had a big presence in the box office this year. Lots of fucking demonic devil shit going on with these movies that we love.
Satanic Panic, man. Yeah.
Satanic Panic, absolutely. So yeah, Late Night with the Devil was my number 2. So what was your number 1?
Well, first, dude, Late Night with the Devil.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I was kind of late to the train on that one, man. I I just watched that a few months ago and really, really, really enjoyed it. So excellent pick. Like, uh, great performances in that, and they took kind of a simple concept and really executed it really well. What a great movie. Um, my number one, and I've kind of gone back and forth. I'm like, maybe I'm too close to it because I'm a super fan, to consider this to be my number one. Maybe I'm just too much of a super fan to this, so like I'm giving it too much accolades. But I've seen it 5 times already this year, and I love it. It's weird because to me at this point, like usually it takes a movie from your childhood to feel like soul food to you, right?
Yeah.
Like to be a comfort film to you, but this movie already feels like that to me. Like when I turn it on, I'm like, "Oh, cool. I get to spend time with these characters that I love in this setting that I think is really unique and really cool." And I get to watch things unfold. And it's like one of those things where it's every time you watch it, you're like, oh man, now I get to watch this character that I love go. And that sucks. But I love this movie. I love this experience. And that's Alien Romulus for me.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm a tremendous Alien fan. I have been ever since 1992, when I discovered Aliens and I discovered the Kenner Aliens action figure line. I have been obsessed with xenomorphs and space horror ever since. And so Romulus was a really weird experience for me because I'm an entitled fan, right? Like I feel like we all are with these things that we cherish and we hold dear to us from our childhood, and we think we know more than the filmmakers on what they should do, and sometimes we do, but sometimes we don't. And the first time I saw Romulus in theaters, it's technically the fourth act because there's a fourth act in this movie. I hated it, and it ruined it so much for me that I literally left the theater fucking pissed, and I was like, "Fuck that movie! Fuck that movie!" I did not. I was like, "Man, I can't believe they went that route. I can't believe the design of that thing was this. It was fucking dumb, man. They ruined what was otherwise a great movie." So I went to an advanced critic screening of the movie. Well, then 2 days later, my podcast was hosting another advanced screening, but it was like invite only. So we got to invite, people who listen to our podcast and other people and shit like that to the screening. So I had to watch it again. And the second time, at least I knew the fourth act was coming and what it looked like. It softened me up a little bit. And I was like, okay, cool. I still don't love it, but I can accept it. The rest of the movie is so good. Fuck it. And then like a week later, obviously it's still in theaters. And I'm like, I want to go see it again. Went and saw it a third time in the theaters. And I fucking loved it. And usually like when I kind of make my mind up on movie stuff, like that's kind of it. Very rarely does my opinion and my taste on things change over time. But man, by watch number 4, I was like, I fuck with the fourth act. I fuck with everything. I love it. And I understand why Fede Alvarez made the decisions that he made on it. He was like, I have to do something my own way with my own stamp on this thing. Otherwise, like, what am I doing? What am I adding to this thing that's been around since 1979? And yeah, man, like I said, I've seen it 5 times now, and I think the cast is phenomenal. I think the writing is phenomenal. The directing is phenomenal. It's all practical effects, basically. Of course, there's CGI enhancements, and there's some stuff that you like space stuff that's like, you got to do CGI. But like, dude, the creatures and the sets and everything was practical, and it was beautiful, and it really does fit very well into the Alien universe. And man, I love it, dude. I could talk about this movie forever.
No, it's cool, and it's part of my honorable mentions. Like I wasn't gonna go without saying that. I enjoyed the film too. It wasn't part of my top 5, but I I thought that the character of Andy was awesome. That guy played a great role. And you know what? I loved the marketing with the popcorn, the buckets.
Yeah.
I think that was
Yep.
great for collectors.
Sure.
So I think
Did you grab one?
I did. I had both. I got
Hell yeah, me too.
the light up one, and I got the the head.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
That's what we're in now, like the popcorn bucket phase of this stuff. And like I bought that one. I bought the Art the Clown one, which it's not shipping until March, I think.
Shit.
And then
Jesus.
and then the Beetlejuice one too is not shipping. Like there's a sandworm, and I feel like shit, man. By March, you're gonna be forgetting about this stuff.
Yep.
But there was one other honorable mention that wasn't part of our it wasn't in my list and wasn't in yours, but I still got to give credit to it, and that was Maxine. Speaking of the Satanic Panic, the first 10 minutes of that movie was such a sizzle reel to my youth, like bringing up the 80s metal and like watching all that stuff. Like I remember seeing it as a kid. I think they nailed it. I think they nailed LA for the 80s. Maya Goth is awesome. I thought she was great in it. Kevin Bacon was phenomenal. I felt like he I don't know, man. I thought like he was such a great part of that movie. Like just a sleazy, like I'm gonna say kind of like Cape Fearish type character, I don't know. Like even like him, it was supposedly taking place in the 80s. Like I even feel like he was like a 70s type of character, like a Private Eye, sleazoid type. But I like that whole trilogy of films, and I thought Maxine got a little crazy towards the end, but it still made my list of honorable mentions. You have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's see. So, Beetlejuice was a fuck ton of fun. Was it perfect? No, but it was about as good as it was gonna get for a sequel this many years later. And I loved all the practical effects throughout the movie. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Strange Darling was another one that I was like, man, this movie was kind of a wild ride. Kyle Gallner, our guy from Smile 2, was the lead in this movie, and it was just it was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that one. Blink Twice with Channing Tatum, surprisingly way more brutal and fucked up than I thought it was going to be for a major, theatrical film, but I enjoyed it. In a Violent Nature, basically was in the day in the life of Jason Voorhees. It was that movie is what happens when you repress a fan base from something that they desperately want. A super fan that happens to be a filmmaker goes, I'm just going to go ahead and make one of these, but I'll just change the names. And that's exactly what In a Violent Nature was. That's a fucking Friday the 13th movie, but found footage and following Jason.
Yeah.
I
thought the kills
it.
in that. Yeah, I like the kills in that. I think my favorite part of that movie was him sitting with the toy car.
Dude.
So demented.
My absolute favorite part of the entire fucking movie. That's funny that you say that. Like, it's kind of heartbreaking a little bit as well. Him just playing with the toy because he's still a child in his mind. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And Abigail, it was fun. Not my favorite thing that's come out this year, obviously.
It was a fun watch, though. Yeah.
A vampire ballerina in a mansion that's been locked down with heist henchmen. Dude, cool. Like, that movie would have been my favorite fucking movie next to Fright Night if it would have been made when I was a kid.
Yeah. You know what? I took Zozo to go see that, and she had a lot of fun with that movie because
Fun, man.
yeah, she recognized Lisa Frankenstein from it and stuff, and she was like, okay. And it's cool, man. Now, like, my kid starts to realize the actors from other movies and stuff, and she's like, oh yeah, that's from here and over from there. So she's like becoming one of us, dude. So it's like,
One of us.
Right.
One of us.
so like I get to talk shop with her, man, and it's
That's
can't ask
cool.
for anything better,
Really
man.
cool.
You know.
That's really cool.
So yes, dude, you have you please plug your podcast. Tell us where you
Sure,
can
man.
find it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. It's Epic Film Guys, and we are available and accessible on anywhere that you listen to podcasts. So whatever you're using to listen to your shit, we're on there. Epic Film Guys. You can also find us on all social media platforms at Epic Film Guys. We're just, a couple dudes that love talking movies, love nerding out over our shared love of cinema and film and all things spooky and even some non-spooky stuff. So it's a good time, man. It's, we're just passionate about what we do. So check us out there.
They definitely speak our language for the people that are listening
man.
in now. Anything else going on that you want to plug that you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm an advisor on The Thing Expanded, and it's a documentary from the guys that did Aliens Expanded, which is like, dude, I don't know if you've seen Aliens Expanded yet, but it's like, it's not a making of, because that story's been told. This is just a deep dive in literally everything Aliens, like from the making of the movie to like post the movie coming out, like a dissection of the scenes and the importance of the scenes. Like, the movie is like fucking 4 hours long, but it's unbelievable, man. Like, when you finish watching that, you're like, I thought I knew everything about Aliens already, and this movie just blew me the fuck away, dude. They got James Cameron and Sigourney Weaver for this thing.
Wow.
So I was I'm a moderator in the Thing Facebook group, which is all things The Thing, and we've got over 30,000 members and shit like that. So they reached out and they were like, hey, who better to consult with over this documentary than,
Excellent.
myself and my buddy Peter Abbott. We co-moderate the Thing Facebook group. And so they kind of brought us into the fold, and they're like, we just don't want to fuck this up. So, we have board meetings where we discuss, different things. So they've secured most of the cast, John Carpenter. And what's really crazy about the guys, it's Creator VC. They're the ones that make all these high-profile documentaries. They got James Cameron for their Aliens doc before they got Sigourney Weaver. Like, it was a trickle effect. So, like, their story with that is kind of funny. They were like, okay, well, we've got most of the core cast. That's cool. So they shot the movie and like edited the movie, and then all of a sudden James Cameron was like, I'll do it. And they're like, fuck. They flew out. They filmed James Cameron. They're like, okay, cool. We got it. They edited the movie. They even screened it. It's done. The movie's done. And then they get a call from Sigourney Weaver, and she's like, I'll do it. And they're like, fuck, this is amazing. And also, fuck, they had to fly back out, film Sigourney Weaver, come back, and then re-edit the movie. So
if there's any two names, though, that are going to make you hold up your production and add them into it, those are the two names.
100%. So I know that obviously Kurt Russell is on that list of people that they want to get. And, considering who they just pulled in on their Aliens doc, I don't think it's far-fetched, and I think that's cool. Carpenter's already involved. So it's cool, man. Being even involved just a little bit is a cool thing, because
that's awesome, dude.
I love that movie so much. So that's what's going on with that. And yeah, I have an album that's basically finished right now. That's been a passion project. we haven't launched anything for it yet. Cause like me and my buddy that I'm doing it with, we've been in a band together before, and we're like, we get excited and then we release a music video or a song or whatever. We're like, we want to do this the right way. Like, and we're looking at this more as like content creating, but with music rather than like we're a band, like if this thing takes off and there's a demand for it and they're like, we want shows, then like, of course, like we will entertain the idea of doing shows, but like, we just want to write and record music and make music videos and just create music content. So it's called Lil Ghosty. And it is one of my first loves was and I accept all the judgment in the world on this, is rap rock, man. Limp Bizkit, dude, was such a huge part of my childhood, and I just loved Fred Durst and his aura, his attitude, everything about him. And I've always wanted to do a proper rap rock album, and I've just never been able to do it. It's just never worked out, whether creatively with other people, whatever. Dude, this album, like, if I could have written this when I was or wrote this when I was 15 years old, it would have been my favorite fucking album, like, ever. Like, I feel like we nailed it, and it's like, man, I feel like we nailed it because it's something that I've wanted to do for so long, that I've had all these ideas and these things that I finally had the avenue to do it. So we shot a music video. It's honestly the coolest music video that I've ever been a part of. It looks so fucking legit. It looks so cool. We filmed it to really capture that late 90s, early 2000s like rap rock vibe.
Sick.
And I feel like that's another thing that we nailed, dude. So I'm really excited. We're going to launch sometime in January, where once we start putting out content, it's going to be coming out every couple weeks, man. To the point where we're taking this really, really seriously. So my buddy, it's me and my buddy Jared. He's like a fucking virtuoso. He can play every single instrument. He records. I mean, he's literally a computer genius as well. So it's just him and I, and we wrote and recorded everything on our own. And so we're so serious about it that, like, basically he's got a studio in his house, but we're setting up like a second studio in my house, to where I'm like giving him a key to my house and I'm like, you can come over anytime. And like, this is what we're doing, man. Like we have
Moving
both
in.
committed. We've both committed that this is what we're doing. We're going all in on it. So it's Lil, Lil, Lil Ghosty. So we're going, and it's Ghosty with an I at the end. So it's just Ghost
sick.
and an I.
Dude,
So
I can't wait to
Ghosty.
hear it, man.
Dude, I'm going to send you. Fuck, man. I haven't sent you anything yet?
No.
Bro, I'm gonna send you some stuff when we get off of here. But I'm really, really, really excited about it. So
Cool.
we'll see, man. So
When it
hopefully
drops,
you'll be
dude,
cool
let me
with,
know, and I'll definitely throw it onto the podcast, man, without a doubt.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Dude,
absolutely.
I appreciate it, man.
No, that's great, dude. I'm happy that you're doing that, because I know you're passionate about that. We've talked about it, and
Big time.
I'm excited for that.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome. All right, so I have a couple plugs to do, and we'll put this baby to bed. This was such a fun time. I just want to thank Mr. Beery's. That's our sponsor. There's always something each night going on over there. Monday nights is Mondayoki with Kevin Mundy. Vinyl Tuesday, bring your own vinyl. They'll play a side, and you'll get a side. And on Wednesday, they have Let It Bleed Wednesdays, which is the ultimate Rolling Stones tribute. Thursday is open mic, hosted by by Murphy's Music. So this weekend is a stacked weekend over at Mr. Beery's. On Friday the 13th, they are having the Bad Mary Christmas show with Crisis Canyons, 20 Mike and David and the Hendersons on the 14th. Seasons Beatings with My Friends and Jones Crusher with Sludgebox, Reign of Angels, Hasbro's, and the Ramones. On Sunday, they're having the Misfit Toy Mosh, which is a benefit for St. Vincent de Paul, hosted by Mikey Keys. And they are having, holy shit, Blastocyte, Brain Candy, Cat Crash, Hesitant, Geordie, Mom's Gone Wrong, Prognosis, Shrine for Black Madonna, Spike and Raw Sewage, and Veronica. Holy shit, when are they starting this? I guess it's like during the day, because that's a lot of bands for Mr. Beery's. I think it's during the day. So that's on Sunday. Next week, on the 20th, the Home for the Holiday show. Tony, I believe I have a flyer for that with the Gremlins. That is our Home for the Holiday show. It's going to be starring The Sharp Violet, Steve and the Not Steves, Demon Scar, The Suffolk Stranglers, Kyler Sane, Anything Ever, and Carve a Path. And January 10th, yours truly, the Nizza, will be opening up for Capadonna of Wu-Tang Clan at the Cellar on Treadwell in Hampton, Connecticut. I am more than so excited to be doing this because my moniker comes from the Wu-Tang back in the day when I was a young man, also into the rap rock, but also into Wu-Tang. And I was like, fuck, if there's a RZA and a Jizza, there has to be a Nizza. So that's when I thought I could rap. I still think I could rap. I don't know. I put shit together. Guess good enough for me to open up for Capadonna. And that's at the Cellar on Treadwell. And that is going to be January 10th. Tickets are still available right now at fullblastingbooking.net. Want to thank them for bringing me on there. And again, I want to thank my guest, Jeremy. Jeremy, thanks for kicking around on Primal Scream with us tonight. It was an awesome, event.
Had a blast. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, dude. I'm glad that we got to shoot the shit and hang out and speak our language, my bro. Tony, thank you very
100%.
much. I'm probably not going to see you guys until after the holidays. So happy holidays to everyone. And like I always say, I'm Nick Graystone, and you're not. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Primal Scream. I'm Nick Graystone, a.k.a. The Nizza. Each week, Primal Scream is produced by Tony Walker and executive produced by Demon Scar. Always remember, nobody writes your story but you. Later.